Our world is full of mysteries and secrets that require a considerable amount of time to unravel. In this video, I invite you to discover the most shocking findings from all corners of our planet. Enjoy watching. When mentioning sharks, you most likely think of the great white shark, the largest and most dangerous marine predator. But to date, more than 500 species of these fish are known, which significantly differ in appearance from each other. Among them, bioluminescent sharks deserve special attention. They are small in size. The maximum length of their bodies does not exceed 42 centimeters. Their characteristic feature is bioluminescence. These sharks can glow neon green. The question arises, what do they need it for? Is it to illuminate the depths of the ocean for communication, or is it for hunting after all? These predatory fish live in the warm waters of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. During the day, they are at great depths, more than 3.5 kilometers, but at night, when hunting, they rise from the depths. Despite their small size, these fish are monstrous. In their mouths are several rows of sharp teeth. With their light, they attract prey, and if it is small, they swallow it whole. Representatives of this species are not afraid to attack even marine mammals such as seals, dolphins, and even whales. To attack them, they swim up at close range from the side and literally bite into them with their teeth. Holding on tightly, the predators tear at the prey, biting off its flesh. Wounds from their bites can be as deep as 10 centimeters. Alone, such a shark, of course, is not capable of killing mammals. But in a mass attack, in rare cases, dolphins even beached themselves to stop the torment from unbearable pain. Bioluminescent sharks do not pose a danger to humans, as there is not a single known case of their attack. The world's oceans remain one of the least explored places on our planet. Every discovery of new underwater inhabitants is tantamount to a sensation for scientists. One such discovery happened quite recently, in the summer of 2023. During the exploration of Antarctic waters, Australian scientist Greg Rouse accidentally discovered a previously unknown species, the Antarctic strawberry star. This creature looks truly fantastical, with 20 arms, each reaching up to 20 centimeters in length. The color of the star varies from purple to dark red. It inhabits depths ranging from 65 to 1,000 meters, moving around thanks to its feather-like tentacles. The underwater monster received its name, associated with the sweet berry, after Rouse cut off its tentacles and could observe the body shape, resembling a strawberry. Scientists classified it as a type of feather star. As of now, the underwater strawberry remains a poorly studied animal, reminiscent of a character from a science fiction movie. On February 28, 2023, NASA discovered an asteroid that poses a threat to our planet. According to scientists' estimates, this space object may hit Earth on February 14, 2046. However, do not be quick to fear the end of the world. According to the scientists themselves, the likelihood of this asteroid falling is low. It is currently assigned a 1 on the Torino scale, where 0 means no chance of collision with Earth, and 10 means collision is certain. The probability of the asteroid falling is 1 in 560, but this value can constantly change. The discovered asteroid, named 2023 DW, is about 50 meters in diameter. It is currently 18 million kilometers away from us and moving at a speed of 25 kilometers per s. According to the latest calculations, it is expected to fly by Earth at a distance of 1.8 kilometers. But due to various circumstances, its trajectory could change, leading to a collision with our planet. The size of the asteroid is not large, so even in the worst case, its fall will not cause the extinction of humanity. But if this happens, people will, of course, be warned and evacuated. Currently, 2023 DW is the only observed asteroid that has a chance of colliding with Earth. More than 50 years ago, on the territory of modern Bavaria, strange, elongated human skulls belonging to women were discovered. and it was only recently that their mystery was finally unveiled, thanks to genetic research. In some ancient cultures, the egg-shaped form of the skull was associated with beauty and nobility. Therefore, newborn girls intentionally had their skulls deformed, compressing it at the temples. There were no such customs in Germany, leading scientists to hypothesize that the remains belonged to Romanian women. Another theory suggests that the ancient inhabitants of present-day Bavaria might have adopted this custom. To test these hypotheses, scientists studied the DNA of 36 remains. Their analysis indicated that the women likely belonged to either Southeastern Europeans or Asians, as they had brown eyes and dark hair. Most likely, these women migrated to the territory of modern Germany with the aim of prosperous marriage. Currently, scientists are studying the remaining skulls to paint a picture of complex interracial relationships during the height of ancient human migrations. The Nebra Sky Disc is considered one of the most precious archaeological finds in Germany, as the artifact is deemed the oldest known depiction of the cosmos. The disc is a bronze circle with a diameter of 30 centimeters, coated with a turquoise film. It features images of the moon, the sun, and 32 stars, all made of gold. The artifact was discovered in Nebra by treasure hunters, and was subsequently put up for sale on the black market. The German government closely monitors the illegal sale of historical treasures, resulting in the seizure of the disc from the dealer. Initially, it was believed that the artifact dated back to the Bronze Age, as axes and swords, created over 3,000 years ago, were also found at the discovery site. Determining its exact age was challenging, since no similar items had previously been found. However, after a thorough examination of the disc, scientists concluded that it was made during the Iron Age, making it 1,000 years younger than originally estimated. Despite the 1,000-year discrepancy, the Nebra Sky Disc remains a unique artifact discovered in the 21st century. You might think that fires in the territory of the permafrost are simply impossible because fire cannot flare up when there is snow around. However, in Siberia, Alaska, and beyond the Arctic Circle, this phenomenon does occur and is called a zombie fire. On snowy terrain, fire cannot flare up, but at the same time it remains underground, fueled by peat and methane. Throughout the winter, the fire remains under the snow, waiting for its time to break out to the surface with the arrival of warmth. Scientists note that such a phenomenon in the Arctic has been occurring more and more frequently. Therefore, they have focused on studying this problem. During the research, it became known that climate change is the cause of a large number of zombie fires. A long, hot, and dry summer, by Arctic standards, provokes strong melting of the snow, creating optimal conditions for fire. This phenomenon puts boreal peatlands, which support permafrost, at risk. In addition, a huge amount of greenhouse gases are released into the environment as a result of fires. To avoid serious and irreversible consequences, scientists are directing all their efforts to reduce the number of underground fires. We know that the universe is infinite, but no one can fully comprehend what it means to be without beginning and end. However, knowledge of the South Pole Wall helps us to feel the scales of space a little bit. The wall is located 500 million light-years from our planet. For example, to reach the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, located at a distance of 4 light-years, it would take 73,000 years. The wall consists of more than 100,000 galaxies, each of which can have up to 100 billion stars. The extent of this celestial wonder is 1.4 billion light-years, while the size of our own Milky Way galaxy is just 100,000 light-years. Unfortunately, it is impossible to capture an image of this marvel even with the most powerful telescopes. Therefore, scientists were able to discover the wall only using redshift measurements. All objects in our universe are moving. As galaxies move, they change their light waves, the measurement of which helps scientists understand the scales of various cosmic objects. The discovery of the South Pole Wall has allowed scientists to continue important research on the universe. and it has given us a slight glimpse into some part of that infinity. In 2019, scientists from Japan and the United States conducted an experiment during which laboratory mice acquired the ability to see infrared light. This was achieved by injecting special nanoparticles into the animal's eyes. Regular mice are unable to see electromagnetic radiation, but the rodents with the implanted particles gained this ability. The effect of the injected nanoparticles lasted up to 10 days, and no side effects were observed in the animals during this time. This experiment was aimed at developing future technologies that could be effective for special services and the military. The fact is that the eyes of mice and humans are quite similar in their ability to see only a part of the electromagnetic spectrum emitted by almost any objects, whether it be a hot kettle or a cold ice cream. Using daylight, we can associate an object with its properties, but this becomes impossible in the dark. To see this spectrum, special night vision goggles have been created, and the new experiments conducted on mice allow for modifications of this technology. This could indeed be useful for soldiers and researchers who often have to work in the dark. The year 2022 became one of the most significant years for the United States in terms of unidentified flying objects, with several hundred recorded cases. These events could not go unnoticed, and the Pentagon had to come forward with explanations. A report was heard in the U.S. Congress, where military officials and representatives of space agencies spoke. From the meeting's report, it became clear that 510 UFOs were spotted in the country's airspace. 26 of them turned out to be drones. 169 were balloons and birds. However, there were also truly unidentified objects, the origins of which have not yet been explained. Despite this, the agencies declare that these objects do not belong to extraterrestrial races. The public was puzzled by such an official gathering of special services. After all, why discuss balloons and birds in such detail? Therefore, many people concluded that the Pentagon is once again hiding the arrival of aliens from us and distracting with false messages about identifying objects. At the end of 2022, Chinese archaeologists discovered one of the oldest gold artifacts, a half of a burial mask, dating back over 2,000 years. This discovery is very recent, so there is little known about the mask. It was found during the excavation of sacrificial pits, which, according to the latest estimates, are about 3,000 years old. The item is 18 centimeters long and 14.5 centimeters wide. The weight of the full mask could have reached around 500 grams. Currently, archaeologists do not know whether the mask was custom-made in China or acquired from other civilizations. In addition to the mask, more than 500 various gold artifacts belonging to the Shu dynasty were found in the pits. In the Edinburgh Museum, there is an unusual artifact known as the impossible ancient Egyptian statuette. It is deemed impossible because its subject does not align with the strict rules governing the life aspects of the Egyptians. The statuette depicts a bent-over adult man with a child pharaoh on his knees. According to the rules, an ordinary person could not touch the ruler, making the creation of such a statuette in ancient Egypt practically impossible. Margaret Maitland, the senior curator of the Ancient Mediterranean Department at the National Museum, Scotland, was so struck by the oddity of the artifact that she decided to unravel its mystery. In the course of her research, she found out that the impossible statuette and some other sculptures were created in the now-abandoned village of Deir el-Medina, where artisans involved in tomb construction used to live. Learning more about this settlement, Maitland understood that the man actually holds not the pharaoh himself, but his statuette, created by the artisans. She speculated that the man was a chief scribe, responsible for inscriptions on the tombs. His name was Ramos, and his tombs have survived to this day. Thus, thanks to Margaret Maitland's diligent efforts, The mystery of the statuette that puzzled other historians for more than 150 years since its discovery was solved. In mid-November of 2020, a strange object appeared in the state of Utah, a monolith with a triangular cross-section made from 3 metal sheets. It immediately attracted the attention of the state's residents and tourists. People were curious to know who had installed the monolith in the deserted area among the rocks. But soon after, it disappeared. A few days later, a similar object appeared in Romania, near the city of Piatra Neamt. But just like the first one, it mysteriously vanished. After that, monoliths started appearing in different parts of the world. However, their creator was never found. Some users speculated that a group of artists calling themselves the most famous artist was responsible for installing the monoliths. On their website, they posted clues and photos related to the mysterious objects. At the same time, the monoliths piqued the interest of ufologists. They believe that extraterrestrial civilizations are involved, and the metal pillars serve as a kind of messages. But what they mean remains unknown to anyone. In the southern part of Peru lies the amazing Nazca Plateau, known for its multitude of gigantic geometric and figural geoglyphs. But in addition to them, this place also houses ancient aqueducts, which are more than 1,500 years old. Aqueducts are a kind of water channels designed for extracting water from a source. The ancient Nazca tribes were farmers. This work was not easy for them, as in the desert, all water bodies dried up during the dry season. When this happened, the Nazcans had to migrate. To support agriculture, they created a stunning system of spiral aqueducts. Thanks to this, the Nazcans managed to survive in the arid desert lands for several centuries. The Nazca aqueducts were built in a spiral shape, with a wide entrance and a very narrow neck. The depth of the wells could reach 10 meters. Their walls were made of river stone without the use of mortar, so that water at the very top could seep into the tunnel from the surrounding alluvial rocks. Amazingly, the Nazcans built such high-quality water channels that the residents of nearby settlements still use them today. A wormhole or a rabbit hole is a kind of cosmic bridge connecting 2 distant points in the universe. To help people visualize what this is, an illustrative example with a sheet of paper is often used. On the 2 ends of the sheet, there are points connected by a straight line. In this case, the line represents the shortest distance between these 2 points. But if you fold the sheet in half so that the points touch each other, you essentially create a wormhole or a curvature of space. In this example, the sheet acts as space, and the 2 points act as cosmic regions. Until recently, wormholes were just a theoretical concept, closely related to Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. No one could know if they really existed, and if they did, how they formed. However, scientists from the Autonomous University of Barcelona laboratory managed to create a prototype wormhole that connects 2 regions with a magnet. During the experiment, it was demonstrated how the magnetic field created on one side of the tunnel appears on the other side. Of course, the scientists were not able to move physical objects in this way, but the fact that the magnetic field disappears in one area and appears in another is already a sensation. Asian hornets are called flying killers. This insect can instill fear in anyone. The body length of the giant wasp exceeds 5 centimeters, and the wingspan is more than 7 centimeters. The most tremendous danger Asian hornets pose is to entire colonies of honeybees, which they feed on. Their hunting is very thoughtful. One hornet scout goes to the hive to assess the number of individuals. Then it spreads pheromones, attracting other of its kind. Gathering together, they attack the hive. Amazingly, a single Asian hornet can single-handedly kill up to 40 bees in a minute. Of course, such insects cause huge damage to beekeepers. Therefore, people in every possible way try to find and destroy their nests. Although this is not so simple, due to their location underground. The size of the Asian hornet's sting is 6 millimeters, and the sensations from their sting are compared to the pain from a red-hot nail being driven in. In addition, these insects produce highly toxic venom, which can be fatal for people allergic to bee and wasp venom. Asian hornets have long expanded their habitat beyond Japan. They attack people only when they feel danger, so if you come across a gigantic insect on your way, it is better to stay away from it. In November 2020, Peruvian archaeologists discovered a unique fresco in the north of their country, dating back over 3,000 years. For 2 years, scientists could not identify the image, but they eventually speculated that the fresco depicts a spider god holding a dagger. This deity is known among the peoples of the pre-Columbian era. Moreover, scientists were able to determine that this image adorned the wall of an adobe temple. Researchers estimate that the temple stood 15 meters tall and was constructed from bricks. It was located by a river and likely served as a place of worship for water gods. The spider was a water deity for the ancient locals. Unfortunately, the archaeologists could not find the ruins of the ancient temple, as local farmers, seeking to expand their plantations, used heavy machinery and destroyed what might have remained of the sanctuary. However, this marvelous fresco has managed to survive. In October of 2017, a peculiar space object was discovered, unlike anything scientists had ever seen before. During routine observations of space, Robert Warwick, an astronomer at the University of Hawaii, noticed an unusual cigar-shaped asteroid moving toward the Sun at a speed of about 87 kilometers per second. Warwick then revisited previously taken images and spotted it again. The object was named UMUMA, which translates from Hawaiian as messenger, arrived first from afar. It was aptly named. Further observation with numerous telescopes from a Chilean university provided scientists with some information. For example, its length is about 180 meters, width is 30 meters, and diameter is around 160 meters. Interestingly, its trajectory was hyperbolic. Due to Oumuamua's rotation around its 3 axes, it was literally tumbling through space. Initially, the object was classified as a comet, but no core or tail was ever found. After extensive research, scientists recognized it as the first hyperbolic interstellar asteroid to reach us from another solar system. Despite the official identification, skeptics believed that Oumuamua was an alien spacecraft. This was inferred from the fact that its length significantly exceeded its width, which is uncharacteristic for asteroids. Additionally, the cigar-shaped space body was not following a ballistic trajectory and was accelerating on its own, which was very strange. The discovered object also reflected 10 times more light than typical asteroids. So all these facts still allow Oumuamua to be considered the most mysterious space object in the entire history of humanity. Beetle Juice is the 10th brightest star in our sky, and it's easily visible to the naked eye. Beetle Juice is a red supergiant. In October of 2019, scientists noticed that Beetle Juice began to dim. It lost about a third of its brightness, but by April of 2020, it had recovered. Astronomers could not find the cause for a long time. In the summer of 2022, thanks to data from the Himawari 8 meteorological satellite, this mystery was finally solved. Scientists collected images of Betelgeuse taken by the satellite over the last 4 years and analyzed them. This led to the conclusion that the star dimmed because it was shrouded in a gas and dust veil formed after the cooling of its surface. Gas bubbles continuously form and burst on Betelgeuse. Astronomers believe that before dimming, the star ejected such a massive bubble that its surface cooled, and some of the stellar material turned into dust. Thanks to the temporary dimming, scientists were able not only to solve the mystery of this unusual phenomenon, but also to gain a lot of valuable information. For example, they found that about 2,000 years ago, the star was not a red giant and had an orange glow. Moreover, the research showed that the star is currently in the process of transitioning into a supernova, which will happen within 1 million years. In 2017, a group of geologists questioned the undisputed fact about the number of continents on our planet. They claimed that Zelandia could be considered a continent. In their opinion, a continent should have clearly defined land boundaries. An area of more than 1 million square kilometers rise above the ocean and have a thicker continental crust. Zelandia could meet all these parameters if most of it were not underwater. Indeed, there is land of Zelandia in the Pacific Ocean, covering an area of more than 5.5 million square kilometers. Only a small part of it is above water, where New Zealand and New Caledonia are located. In fact, the suggestion that Zelandia is not a part separated from Australia, but is a whole continent itself arose more than a century ago. Then, scientists conducted research on the process of the ancient supercontinent Gondwana splitting. The results showed that Zelandia's Earth crust corresponded to a continental type, not an island type. Moreover, the part now submerged underwater was once above water. Using modern technology, scientists demonstrated where the boundaries of Zelandia were located in the past. This even led some people to think that Zelandia was the very Atlantis described by Plato. However, this is absolutely not the case. Currently, studying Zelandia is complicated by its location in the waters of the Pacific Ocean, so whether it is a real sunken continent remains a mystery that will be solved in the near future. Japanese and American scientists decided to check if life could exist in absolutely unsuitable conditions, with a complete absence of light and oxygen. To do this, they began to study the deep-sea areas of the Pacific Ocean. During the experiment, at a depth of almost 6 kilometers, wells were drilled from which samples were taken. The analysis of these samples shocked the researchers as they found microorganisms in the soil that were over 100 million years old. In such harsh conditions, they were unable to maintain normal life activity, but they did not die. The microbes seemed to have plunged into a deep sleep, waiting for the moment when they could be revived again. The scientists created favorable conditions for them, after which the microorganisms woke up and began to reproduce. The bacteria found are some of the oldest living creatures ever found. And that's everything for me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Goodbye.